Limblin, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm doing two looks with one palette, and that is the Gourmande Girls Peach Perfect palette. So if you'd like to see how I got this look and another, then just keep on watching. Hey y'all, I'm so excited. Gourmande Girls sent over the new Peach Perfect palette, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I feel like there are so many looks that can be done with this. It would be perfect for date night, every day, whatever you have in mind. And I'm really excited about the sparkles in this. And the first one that caught my eye was Papa Don't Peach, so let's just jump into it. Okay, so if you do hear a little bit of rustling around, that are the cats playing. They're doing a lot right now. So anyway, I'm going to take some of the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in Fair just to start out with, to have my base to really kind of cover up all my veins on my eye and just kind of get it blended towards the bridge of my nose. I wanted to do a kind of quick but really sparkly and fairly easy look. Now with the detailing of like the bubbles and whatnot, like the gems, if you don't want to do that, that is fine. But I just wanted to do something kind of more monochromatic. So I applied that with a little Morphe concealer brush that I've had forever. Now I'm going to take this old Wet n Wild brush that's fluffy to just really get that blended into my skin and to make sure I have it all, everything covered that I want to have covered. Make sure I have it covered and blended in. Now I'm just going to pat it. Brush it out this way and then pat that into the skin. Now this step that I'm about to do, if you don't want to do it, then you don't have to. But I am going to take some of the Danessa Myricks Color FX Pastels in Dreamsicle. I have been loving these lately. I forgot to add them into the description box of my video from last week, so I need to hurry and do that because I totally meant to get that done. A little bit of this goes a long ways, and I'm scared that I just used too much, but it'll be okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to pat that on the outer corner of my eye, just kind of drag it outwards. And I'm going to run it through the crease and try to keep most of my lid from having any on it, but I'm really just patting it. Pat, 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 pat. These are very easy to work with, and I feel like they last very well with like no creasing. I haven't tried them on their own, but when I put eyeshadow over them, they are amazing. But I feel like a lot of things from Danessa Myricks Beauty, like everything I've tried has been phenomenal. And I'm going to take the About Face Line Artist in Equestrian and do a little bit of a wing, since this is more of a smoky wing. I'm just going to take it from the outer corner of my eye, drag it and connect it, kind of bring it up into the crease slightly and then bring it down. So to start out, I'm going to take Peachless and start to pop it over that liner and do a smoky wing that way. I feel like this is really neutral for me. I'm going to do this with the e.l.f. and J. Kissa J5 brush. Any winged angled brush, any angled brush should do. So I'm just going to get that brown on there and start to pop that on to the liner and just pat that on there, get it nice and packed down. And then bring it up just a little bit. And then baby flicks. And then I'm just going to kind of blend it out back and forth very gently to diffuse it. So I'm taking it a little bit above that liner that I just placed. I'm actually filming this on the 4th of July. I've had such a busy week. I have not had a chance to film anything. I really wish that I could have yesterday when this came in, but I was so exhausted. I could not. But this will still be up, like, the Sunday after it came in. So I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T14 brush in the shade Peach and Quiet, which is kind of like a neon orange. I love it. It's so pretty. These shades are just gorgeous, and I'm really excited to do the next look because I want this to be a 2 looks at the very least one palette, because I love, love, love Gourmande Girls, and I want everybody that has any like questions about what the palettes are like, I want them to like be able to find out, you know, from different places, whatever. So I wanted to talk about them because I just love Christina so much, and everything I've tried from Gourmande Girls has been amazing. So with this shade, I'm really just starting to diffuse the brown, and I'm going to take this a little bit further into the crease. Just a little bit though, not a lot. And just back and forth, back and forth. Very light pressure, and you want to focus holding your brush towards the tail end of your brush. That way you're not using too much pressure and you're not getting an overblend. I've just cleaned that brush off, and I'm going to take the Peach Boys, which is a nice almost pastel orange. It's so cute. And I'm going to start to blend everything out with it just to make sure there are no harsh why can I not say this? No harsh edges, and it looks a little more diffused. So I'm just going to start to back and forth, take it out a little bit farther than that last orange, and take it a little bit further into the crease. I'm going to do this with the lightest amount of pressure. Take it a little farther out. Blend, blend, blend. And now it's starting to look like a leaf in the fall, which I love. As hot as it's been, I'm ready for fall, but also I'm not because I like summer. So, yeah. But I felt like this is very peachy vibes. So I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T63 brush and Peach Perfect, which is the softest peach shade in the palette. What I'm going to do here is just start to lightly go back and forth to diffuse these shades. And I'm going to run this all the way into the crease, leaving my lid empty, but just making sure everything is softened up and that we have no harsh lines. You don't want to use very much pressure at all. You can do back and forth windshield wiping motions, or you could even do clockwise motions, but if you do that, then you want to go counterclockwise so you have a more even blend. Very, very light pressure. Back and forth, back and forth. Really get everything nice and diffused. So I am going to take, with that same brush, Peach and Quiet, to just bring it back, and I'm just going to start to pat that and work it kind of into the crease, back and forth. Just bringing it back, because blending is repetitive, but it's worth it. And I'm so sorry for all the voiceovers lately. Things have just been a lot. Not like a lot. It's just been, things have been different. I haven't had a lot of time, so sometimes it's just faster for me to do voiceovers. So I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T14 brush and a little bit of I'm Peachless and start to kind of bring that back a little bit. Just tap it on. And this is our depth shade, so I'm just starting to try to blend that slightly into the outer V of the eye. And just go back and forth. And I'm going to just kind of start to pat that. Just little baby pats. Now this takes a little bit longer, doing the little pats like this. Take your time with it, and the blend will be seamless. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of Peach and Quiet and just start to tap off the excess. Back and forth. So I've had some changes going on, and that's why it's been faster for me to do voiceovers. But I'm trying to get another schedule worked out, so maybe I can have more time to just sit down and film when I can. I'm going to take a little bit more of the Peach Boys and just back and forth very gently. And that blend, so good. Okay, Papa Don't Peach. I'm just sticking my finger right in the palette, moving it around, and just look at that. Look at the shifts. Woo! So pretty. I'm just gonna, okay, this is just one swipe. Well, I haven't stuck my finger back. I have no idea where my camera ran out of time, but this is just with that one finger of this shade, and this is how it looks with what was left on my finger on the back of my hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Doe Color number 10 brush, I believe. It's a smaller, fluffier brush. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that shade on the brush, and I'm going to just really dust that onto the lid, but I'm also going to work it into the crease to get it blended with that soft peach shade. Work it over, and then just kind of pat it over here. And see where the shimmer kind of meets the brown and it looks a little harsh? What I'm going to do is take that Makeup Shack T14 brush and a little bit more of I'm Peachless and start to pat it along the edges of the sparkle. And then just go back and forth to really get everything nice and blended together. I have Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan stuck in my head. I want to listen to that like right now. Okay, so I am going to take that T63 brush from the Makeup Shack to make sure everything's a little bit more blended together. I'm going to take Peach Perfect, and I'm going to just really back and forth through the inner portion of my crease towards the bridge of my nose. And that is a quick peachy eye look, and I'm gonna take micellar water on a Q-tip to sharpen it up and then add details. If you don't want to add the details, that's fine. This is just a quick go-to look of mine that I like to do in different color variations because I do like to have sparkles and try to do something quick and bold with the lack of time that I've had to do makeup lately, and I still want to have that me time. So this is something that I just gravitate towards for a style whenever I'm trying to do something quick and easy. Alright, getting my micellar water on a Q-tip, and I'm gonna sharpen this up. Alright, so for my gems, I use the Manic Gems Sponge Fantasy Pack and some of the Retro Pack for the Flowers Glitter. And I'm going to go do the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Alright, this is the finished look. What do you think? I'm really excited about how it turned out. I feel like it's kind of simple for what I normally do because even when I'm not filming for YouTube, I'm trying to do like the most colorful, like sometimes just cut creases or just all colors and lots of graphic liners. So I feel like this was a lot quicker and more simple and very nice. I really like the way these colors look. I feel like they're just so pretty and they blended together so nicely, like very easy to blend. I also used the shade Peachy Keen for my highlighter and I feel like it worked out so cute. I'm really excited about it. And for my lips, I used the J-Cat Beauty Lip Contour and Toffee and the Lawless, where did I set it? The Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Lawn Smoothing Tinted Balm Stick, that's a mouthful, in Georgie. And I feel like I kind of went with the look pretty well. I do love, love, love the shade Papa Peach, like, it is definitely one that I'm just, like, obsessed with. The shifts in it are amazing. But, yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and get started on the next look, and I'll see you in just a second. Okay, so one thing about me is I get excited to push myself outside of my comfort zone, so I wanted to try to do something to match the palette and add a little creativity into this tutorial. So I have my lid primed with the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Primer in shade 1, and I'm just going to jump right on into the look. I'm going to start out with the shade Wanna Peach of Me, which honestly the greens in this palette that I've tried, and I've been on a green kick, so I'll probably be reaching for this more often. So I'm going to take that shade with the Makeup Shack T101 brush. And what I'm going to do is just start to put that on the outer V. Work it up into the crease a little bit. Take it onto the lid about a fourth, between a third to fourth of the way. And look at how gorgeous that deep green is. Work it up a little bit, and then I'm going to start to wing that out. Back and forth windshield wiping motions with a very light pressure. Look at how easily it's diffusing on its own. This week has been very wild. We had very, very, very bad weather. And I was going to film that day, but the weather was really bad. So I'm a little behind. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take it to about the arch of my brow. And then just kind of go back and forth with it just to lighten that up a bit. Very, very, very light pressure. You don't want to feel much at all. You just want it to feel like a little bit of a tickle. Then I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T63 brush and the shade Peach and Quiet, which is such a beautiful orange. I feel like it's so vibrant. It almost reminds me of neon, which I love because I love bright, bright colors. So I'm just going to take that on that little bit of a more fluffy brush. The other one's more of a pencil brush. This one has a little more bristles to where they're looser and you can work with them a bit easier. They're not as stiff. So I'm going to just start to put that into the crease and work that over. I actually need to take the green over a little bit more. So I'm just going to go just a little bit more than halfway through my crease. Sorry, my allergies are really, really upset lately. But the weather's just been very weird. I'm just going back and forth with this. And I'll do about like that. And then I'm going to take the same brush, but I'm going to clean it off. And I'm going to take a little bit more of Wanna Peach of Me just to blend it on over. So I'm going to just pop that right into the crease, right where I left off. And work it over a bit. And then I'm just really going to focus on patting it. That way I don't get over too far. Back and forth just to slightly diffuse it. If you hear vehicles and birds, I do have the window open because it is kind of nice. And sweet Artie baby wanted his window time. He takes his window time very seriously. And I just feel like that makes it good for us so he can hang out in here with me and we just get to spend time together. It makes my day. So I've cleaned off the Makeup Shack T63 brush. I'm going to take a little bit of Peach out, which is a lighter green, but it's more of a lighter forest green, I feel like, because I feel like the first green's a pretty foresty green. So I'm going to take that, hold my brush towards the tail, just start to go back and forth very, very gently. And that really diffuses that depth shade. Gets that depth shade nice and diffused. And I will go back in and touch it up a little bit later. Because blending is repetitive, but it's worth it. So I've got that brush cleaned off and I'm going to take Peach Perfect just to soften up the blend of the first orange and get everything finished up on that side for now. Blend, blend, blenderoo. I'm going to take a little bit more of Peach and Quiet and just start to bring that back a little bit. That way, that lightest peach shade will just make everything less harsh, but we still have that pop of bright, beautiful orange. The blend is so cute. Okay, cleaning that brush off again because I accidentally used this one when I meant to use the T14 brush, but it works just as fine. Or just as well. What are words, Julie? So I'm going to take Peach for the Stars, which is this gorgeous soft green shade. And I'm going to start to soften this up. Doing the same back and forth motions just to lighten it all up. Have a nice gradient blend. And that just blended so easily. So now I'm going to take the Makeup Shack T14 brush and a little bit more of Peach out to bring that back. I'm just going to go back and forth with it. Let that melt right into that lightest green. And then with what's left of the lightest green on the T63 brush, I'm just going to kind of go back over that to get it softened up again. But we're not going to lose as much this time. I just really want to focus on making sure there's no harshness to it. And this is what I mean by blending is repetitive, but it's worth it. Because really this made a lot of difference. So then I'm going to take a little bit more of Wanna Peach Me with that Makeup Shack T14 brush. I almost didn't, that's not it. See, I set these brushes down and then I set them on top of each other and I can't find them. It's a personal problem on my end. So I'm going to take a little bit more of Wanna Peach Me and just start to pat that on to really bring it back right on this outer V for now. And then I'm going to take just a little bit more and I'm just going to start to go back and forth with it. Make sure I'm really getting that winged out bit. Now, as far as my peaches go, I don't feel like they're the best. I know they're not. But it was fun to try something new, and I think the more that I practice them, the better I'll get. So, it's just fun to try new things. That's one thing about me, is I'm always about trying different techniques and trying to improve my makeup skills. I feel like I could always learn something new, and I love learning new things. Even if it's not just makeup, there can be anything. I'm just like, yeah, I need to learn more. I look into things and I get so excited. So anyway, I'm going to take some micellar water on a Q-tip to clean off my lid, clean out the crease. And then I'm going to use some of that same I Prep, I Prime primer to carve out my crease.
Said it was the worst thing that he's ever seen.
Okay, so now that I have that carved out, I'm going to go into the sparkles in this palette, and these sparkles are so good. So I'm going to take Fizzball, which is so pretty. I want to do something with this soon. Like, I have been on a green kick lately, so I will be definitely dipping back into this, and definitely this, like, sparkly green, because it's so good. So I'm going to take the dough color number 14 brush and Fizzball and start to hug it right up against the base and the crease and take it about 1/3 of the way, pretty much the green side. And now I'm going to take your peach, which is such a beautiful shade. It's like a peachy pink, but almost like bronze. I don't know. It's something, it's like a different shade from any that I can remember trying. So I'm going to pat that along the edge of the green. And then kind of drag it over to blend it. Work that up onto the base and the crease. Work them together a bit just to make sure everything's blended. And then I'm going to take my favorite sparkle that I've used so far in this palette, and that is Papa Don't Peach. It is so pretty. It kind of reminds me of holographic, like the reflex in it are amazing. So I would just clean that brush off, and now I'm going to go ahead and start to pack that onto the lid and blend that over with your peach. And work that up into that crease onto the base. But I'm gonna change brushes because on the other eye I did and it worked a little bit better for this. I'm just gonna blend that together real quick. And then I'm gonna switch over to the Clionadh DF04 brush. And this one's smaller. So I feel like I have a little bit more control with it. Work that up. Then I'm going to take a little bit more of your peach with that same brush. Just go back and forth with it, kind of drag it over from Papa Don't Peach. That way it's a nice even blend. It's so good. So I'm going to take a little bit more of Fizzball, pop that on, and just kind of extend it out onto the mat just a little bit. And pat it down. And then I'm going to take that Makeup Shack T101 brush, a little bit more of Wanna Peach of Me, and what I'm going to do is start to pat that on that edge of that green sparkle, slightly into the crease, just to make sure it's nice and blended in. Blended in, oh my goodness. And it just kind of all looks like it's cohesive and one. So, I feel like that's pretty good. I'm going to take some micellar water on a Q-tip, sharpen this up, and then go to voiceover mode, because after I did this eye, I'm left-handed. My left hand was so cramped up, and I feel like this took me ages. But I was really excited to push myself out of my box on what I normally do. I just wanted to try something different, and I wanted to try to match the palette as best as I could. Alright, so I'm starting out with the Mayron Paradise AQ palette in the dark green to kind of put like a pop of graphic liner into the crease. Kind of wanted to use it as like a peachy vine. So I just started with this and run it from towards the inner corner of my eye all the way to where the shimmer about ends. And then I'm going to doodle some peaches. So now I'm taking more of the True Orange shade and doing almost like a heart shape, but it's going to be more rounded toward the bottom. So I'm going to do like the first couple of like humps of what the heart shape would be and then round it towards the bottom. I'm going to start out with this orange, and here in a little bit I'm going to fill it in with a more salmon shade to kind of make it look more peachy. This is my first time doodling peaches, and as of right now this video is supposed to be uploaded in an hour and a half. and I have just had such a wild week, so this is a very last minute voiceover. So I'm just kind of making it like a heart, as you can see, and then I start to try to round it towards the bottom to get it to not necessarily look like a heart. So I'm going to do this for about 3 more. I think I did like 4 or 5. And I'm just going ahead and starting to get the outline. And I'm going to let that liner dry down before I go in with the more salmon-y shade to get that blended together. So I'm starting out with little bitty humps at the top and then taking them out almost like parentheses and trying to round them at the bottom, but also trying to give like a little bitty point to try to make it peachy. Wasn't quite sure what to do, but it was fun. It was hard, but it was fun. Like, this was really one that I was testing myself. I was like, oh my gosh, am I sure I can do this? And it's like, nope, I'm committed, I'm doing it. So I just tried my best. Alright, so now between the orange and the green blend, I decided let's add another little cutie peach. And then I guess I decided that I wasn't going to quite do it right in the center, but, you know, I just tried my best. I'm using the Suva liner brush from this that came with the UV Taffies palette. I do have brushes linked in the description box of pretty much all of my videos of brushes that I used to use all the time that I got off Amazon that I really like. They're just like for nail art and stuff, but they work really awesome with eyeliner. So just in case you were wondering the brush that I used for this. So to fill them in, I'm taking the more salmon-y kind of orange shade that is right beside the orange in this palette. You could use a little bit of a pink or whatever. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with it. I just knew that I needed to make it not all just be orange. So now I'm just trying to kind of get these shades blended together, which is interesting because for me, I love blending eyeshadow, but trying to blend liner together is definitely interesting. So I want to practice more of that. But I felt like adding this little pop of the lighter orange, more salmon shade kind of gave it a little something to make it not just be flat, I guess. So now I'm taking more of that darker green and I'm just going to finish running it over the eyeshadow. I'm going to kind of dip it down towards the start of the peach and then take it from up above to connect it to the other and just make it a nice little viney peachy moment. And then I'm going to take the light brown and I'm going to do kind of like a little swoosh, like a little rounded bit down the center to kind of give it that more peachy look. That way, I don't know, I felt like that kind of helped. And I almost did it like a broken heart, but then I was like, no, let me just do almost like a parenthesis. And I feel like that kind of gave it that little added touch of peachiness. So to do the stems, I'm taking the dark brown and I'm just going to bring it up from in between the 2 humps at the like top of the peach. I'm just going to start to kind of do like a little bit of a line up, and I also started to try to do like a little bit more rounded bit at the top of the stem to kind of make it look more like a stem. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, so this is kind of coming together. I was really excited because the other eye took forever and had me stressed out, but it was so much fun. Like, one thing about me is I just love to try to push myself to try different things. So it was a lot of fun to do. Now I'm taking the lighter green to start to try to doodle a couple cutesy little leaves so that the peaches have some leaves coming off of them. I felt like it would kind of add a nice little contrast with the dark green. And I am going to go back into that dark green here in a little bit to doodle a few more leaves on the vine. And then I'm going to go back into the shade to kind of shade those to make them look a little more like leaves. Now this part, I was like, okay, this will be fun. I've done a couple looks that had leaves. I was like, oh my gosh, how did I do that? So I'm kind of doing it almost like a crescent moon. I'm just starting and doing like a little C shape and then filling it in, but trying to thin it out towards like the tip of the leaf. So I'm taking it up and like kind of rounding it out, and then towards the top, just doing like a triangle point. So for the top, I want it to be kind of pointy and then maybe extend it a little bit, but I want the bottom to be more rounded. And that to me is about the fun part of drawing leaves, is like they don't necessarily have to be perfect and you can do them in any shape or form that you want and they just turn out so cute. So right now they look a little, you know, a little wild, but when I go back in with that lighter green to shade them in, I feel like that really pulled it together. So the trick with that is you really, really want to get your doodles finished and then let them dry down. That way you don't make a mess, because I've done that before. From my experience of me trying to jump ahead of myself, you don't want to do that. You want to let it dry. So now that I've let that dry down, I'm taking the lighter green and I'm starting to try to do like a line down the center, but then doing like little lines off of it to kind of give it that more, like, you know, when you pick a leaf up and you look at it and then you see all that. That's what I was trying to do here. I had a picture in my head of what I was trying to do. Now, did I do the best job? Probably not, but it was still fun, and I still think it turned out kind of cute. What do you think? Add as many details as you'd like, but if you don't want to add the details, that's totally fine as well. Just have fun with it. Okay, that was hard, but it was fun. So I'm going to go do the rest of my face, and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the finished look. What do you think? I feel like it's so cute. I have lipstick on my teeth. For my lips, speaking of, I used the Cherry Pick lip from About Face Beauty in Peach Punisher because I was like, why not? It's a peachy look. And then I used the Pixie Lashes from Tailored Minx. And I also used Peachy Keen as my highlighter. And it's so cute. I feel like it just kind of like almost looks natural but gives that glow. It's so pretty. But yeah, which look is your favorite? What do you want to see next? Should I step out of my comfort zone more and try to doodle more things? I could try my very best to try to draw some anime characters. I've been on a Yu Yu Hakusho kick lately. Like, that's one of my favorite animes. And I really, really would like to do something like that. And I also have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle palette from Profusion. Thought about doing like a mini series with that, with like doing colors of the Ninja Turtles and like doing looks out of that. So that's kind of some ideas I have, but I would like to know yours because I would love to create the videos that you would like to watch. Thank you so much to Gourmande Girls for sending this palette my way. It's so cute. I'll definitely be reaching for it quite a bit. I love the colors. The sparkles are mesmerizing. Congratulations on this beauty, and thank you again. Okay, without rambling too much because I have been asked for some assistance, I am gonna go ahead and go, but I want to thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to keep up my awkward face and shenanigans while I'm not here on YouTube, then I have all my social medias linked in the description box down below. And if you'd like to keep up with me while I am here on YouTube, then please hit the subscribe button. It means so much to me, and I can't thank you enough. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!